All right. This is the third live show. If you're watching this now, that means this is in the past. But now we have one viewer. And so that means for this one viewer, we are in the present. Right? Or we have three viewers, so now we're in the present. So for most of you, this will be in the past. But for some of you, for three people, this will be in the present. And so today, hey Carl. So today, Carl, we're on live yet.
All right.
Yeah. So today, I'm just informing the viewers what's happening. So, what we're doing today is a special episode. We're doing a top 10 list. So today's question of the day is top 10 buddy foods. So buddy food is something that you eat with a buddy, with a friend, something you cannot eat alone. So with us we have Carl Bialik, who's been my friend for a long time, and I actually thought of today because this question came about because I was watching a movie on chicken wings, and it reminded me of a lot of why you did pizza tours about 10 years ago or something, and that's how I met Carl. Carl was on one of our, he may have went to every single pizza tour of ours, almost every.
I miss Queens, which is ironic.
Oh, so you were a committed member, one of the most committed members, maybe the most, and so, I don't know, just thinking about that. And Carl's also is a Yelp data scientist, right?
That's right.
So what's that mean? You study the data and you interpret?
Yeah. I mean, we have all the reviews and ratings data, and that goes back to when we started back in 2004 covering restaurants, food businesses, nightlife businesses, and just about every other kind of local business you can imagine all around the country and really the world. So incredible amount of information about buddies eating food of all kinds together in all sorts of contexts. And then there's also just, the kind of the information that we can aggregate about what users and businesses are doing in terms of what dishes are they offering, what are they searching for. We can, as long as we're rolling up a big enough group of people to completely protect everyone's privacy and information, we can answer some pretty interesting questions about like what are the foods that people are interested in, and what sort of things are they looking for. And as you can imagine now, a time when you and I, who live, 4 or 5 miles apart, could not even imagine seeing each other in person. It's a very different time for our business and the businesses we work with, but it's also a time, I think, when a lot of buddies are eating food together on video. So it's a great topic.
Yeah, it's weird. I just got invited to a birthday party, a virtual pizza party for my friend's birthday. It's interesting, but now I have to wait because I just bought pizza in my freezer. I've been looking at it for the past week, and now I have to wait. I don't know how many days. I don't know what days.
Can you just eat your frozen pizza and I'll send you a pizza on the day?
I could do that, I guess. I just saw Manetta's Tavern in the news, and it looks so good. Manetta's.
Oh, don't look at those things. Don't
it looks so good. That place is great. They were on the Queen's Pizza Tour, actually, and they're like.
Did they deliver to you?
Did they deliver to us? I don't know. I'm not sure. I never get.
Because then it could be worthwhile. Otherwise, I don't want to look at photos of things I can't eat right now. It's kind of.
They might deliver to you. I know they're doing like meals for locals for $5.
Yes, it's one of. I mean, there's so many examples now of businesses that are, including ones that are doing a lot of business and ones that, because of the nature of their business, can't, that are really stepping up and helping out the community. And it's been. I think there's just been so many spontaneous acts of kindness and generosity, and a lot of them are people trying to help out the businesses they love and businesses trying to help out the communities they're in. And I hope they're all, here and around and able to interact in person when we're doing that again.
Yeah, Long Island City is doing a really good job, actually, I hear. I think they're...
Yeah, there's a local... it seems like basically every local group got together and formed a coalition in the drop of a hat. I mean, they all kind of... This moment just seems to provide clarity for so many people where they instantly know what they need to do,
Yeah.
and all the barriers kind of fall away. So it's pretty incredible. I was getting emails from every group in Long Island City about how to be involved in the relief effort and getting regular updates and hearing about it from every angle. And yeah, you're saying Long Island City is good. I feel like our worlds have gotten so narrow. I don't really have a sense of what's happening elsewhere.
Yeah.
And if like is that not the case in Jackson Heights?
Um, I'm not. I think businesses are open. I'm not even that sure because I'm not going out. I'm not. I don't think they should be open.
Yeah, I mean, there are ones that are essential, although the
Right.
meaning of that word is flexible. But, I
Right.
think another big difference in our neighborhoods is that mine has been fortunate and also has some sort of socioeconomic factors protecting it. And yours has been hit really hard. And it's easier to help when you're not also feeling the brunt of the virus right now. And I know it's been very tough out by you. So I'm glad that you're healthy.
Yeah. It's surprising to me when I look at other people and I look at Twitter and people are like saying it's not a big deal and they want to open up the economy and stuff. And I look out the window and I hear sirens all the time right here. And I just can't believe it that people are so nonchalant about it when it's like it's the movie's real. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
And, in 1918, I could understand it might be hard without, you know, the internet and TV and everything else to like appreciate what was happening elsewhere, and that you need to experience it yourself to believe it. But I don't really understand in 2020 why, if it's not hitting your community, you can't have the imagination to see what it would be like and could be like very soon if you don't take precautionary measures. But I also think maybe those voices are not the majority. They might just be the ones we're hearing the loudest. I think there are a lot of
Yeah.
people everywhere who understand and are doing the right thing. And that's one of the reasons that, as horrific as the toll has been, it looks like it won't be as bad as we were fearing.
Is Long Island City? Is your now? Okay, so you live in like a large building
800 apartments, yeah.
with like a man like our management is we have a super, but like and there's like a Facebook group which like with 5 people on it, but like it's not organized. Is your building organized?
You mean in terms of are all the residents like connected with each other?
I guess so. Is it like the man? You like you have doormen there.
Oh, yeah,
You have
yeah. So there's,
management. Are they
yep.
like coordinating something, or even like food getting or something like that?
Um, they're doing a lot. I mean, it's tricky because for good reason they don't want to have that. They don't have any extra staff there because that would be putting people in harm's way for no good reason.
Yeah.
So they've cut back a lot on things that are kind of nice to have, but we don't need right now. Like, there's a gym in the building. Obviously, that's not open. So the staff who'd work there are not working. We've gotten mixed messages about whether they're still being paid, and I should really try to get a
Oh.
definite answer on that. But there's fewer staff, but there's still people downstairs all the time, and
Mm.
they're there for packages and for emergencies. I think they're running food up to people who are sick and suspect they might need to be isolated, even to their apartments. So the staff is like accepting deliveries, putting on masks and running up. So they're doing heroic things. They're working long shifts. They're really keeping things running. There's a woman in the building. There's a Facebook group for the building. There's 2 Facebook groups for the building, actually. One of them is a woman who runs a dumpling company and or co-runs it or something. So she gets wholesale food delivery for the company, and she's selling food at cost to other people in the building so that they don't have to go grocery shopping and risk that. She's also coordinating like getting food to people who need to isolate, and just, she even got a pulse ox to someone who needed to check on their health. So um, there's a lot of like people helping each other out and connecting in the building right now, which is really nice. And there's been a big push to, get delivery from restaurants and support them um, to get the food delivered. We've been buying meals for the staff, like getting, everyone to chip in on Venmo and then get them bagels or pizza or whatever. So
Yeah.
we're doing what we can. I mean, it's hard to feel that helpful when you can't leave your home. So it's a lot of virtual help, which isn't quite the same, but it's hard to feel safe and feel totally helpful right now.
Let me ask you something.
Please.
What is the first when you escape this? Where do you want to go to eat?
Akino, that sushi place near you.
Oh,
Everyone.
really? That you love that place.
I knew exactly what you were asking. I knew exactly my answer.
I was
The
just.
guy who introduced it to me, my colleague, your friend and mine, Hondo,
Oh,
the
oh,
community manager for Yelp in Queens, he, I should write him right now and tell him to tune in. I think he'd enjoy this. But anyway,
he might. He was
uh,
on yesterday.
yeah,
He's
well,
around.
I told him about it yesterday,
Oh,
as
okay.
things move fast, or whenever it was that you had the California pizza thing on. Um, and you know, he introduced me to that restaurant, and I think you knew about it, but hadn't been, I think, when we went or something like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
when he and I have been talking about how sad it is what's happening right now in Queens and with Queens businesses we love and with our Queens friends we can't see, I said, maybe we would feel better if we put a standing calendar invite for lunch at Akino. Every month we have it on our calendar, including for this month on April 23rd. There's no way we're going to go to Akino on April 23rd. He's not even in the city right now. It's not safe to go to restaurants. They're not open for people to go. But just seeing it there makes me feel like maybe we'll get out of this at some point. Maybe this will be over. Maybe I'll be able to sit down and eat face to face with my friend in my favorite place.
yeah.
And that's helping to get me through just this feeling of like sadness about the community and about what businesses are going through and all that. So maybe you and I should put a date on the calendar to go to whatever place you choose.
I'm happy to go. I like to go to places where people are passionate about it.
You don't think they are there
That they are.
at Akino?
No, I'm saying as long as you're passionate.
Oh, I thought you meant the business. Yeah, I'm passionate. Well,
eh,
we went together,
yeah,
but
I'm
we could
ha-
be somewhere else too.
Yeah, like as long as the people I'm with love it, then I'm interested in it.
What's your place? What's your first spot?
Um, Joe's Pizza. It's got it. I'm not a huge fan of Joe's Pizza, but it's just the environment. It's Joe's Pizza
On Bleecker?
on and walking up Sixth Avenue on the way to Washington Square Park on a paper plate with wax paper under it.
What time? What would be your time that would be like the essence of Joe's? Because I feel like there's so many
Oh,
different shifts there.
yeah, it's July. It's a hot day in July or August at 2 p.m.
Nice.
And that's about it. And it's good. The air
That's
is
wonderful.
clear, and the grease is on my fingers. Um, yeah, it's all I could.
Are you pouring some red pepper on it, or are you getting pepperoni?
I I would get a regular. I could get a pepperoni. I would get a fountain Coke. I don't know if they even have fountain Coke. They probably do.
I think so. I think they've found drinks.
They probably do. I need a fountain Coke with my salty pizza. Uh, yeah, they are very good. I just don't go to them because they're so popular already. Um,
Yeah, I was just thinking today that 2 months ago, seeing a line going out of a restaurant, unless I was already on the wait list, was like, an annoyance. And now, like, I
yeah,
just want to see that again in New York. As soon as I want to see people excited to go out and ready to wait for that slice, and
yeah.
that'll be a very welcome sight.
I wonder how long it's gonna be until we
Yeah,
see another line
yeah,
anywhere.
that's not 6 feet apart.
It's gonna be a long time.
Yeah, I mean, there's all these stages, right? Like, I mean, I think the first time I see you, we're gonna go for a walk and stand 6 feet apart, and it's gonna be really weird. And
Yeah,
it'll.
I was talking to my friend yesterday. He said we should have a beer on the street and 10 feet apart. And I don't know, man. I don't know how I could do it. It's gonna be difficult to.
Have the great fortune. I guess you haven't been to our place. We're on the second
No.
floor, which is normally considered not that great for a tall building near the water because the view isn't as dramatic. But we're so low down and we're facing the main street where we are that we now realize we can, like, people who are going for walks will stop and tell us they're there, and we'll come out to the balcony and we'll call them and we'll just like have a face-to-face
Oh.
chat.
Oh.
And it's so much worse than if we were actually in the same room laughing and sitting right next to each other, but so much better than, like,
Yeah.
as much as this is great, it's so much better to actually be so close to each other and see each other. And that's been wonderful, but also, I'm ready for that that stage to be over and to actually see them a little closer.
Do you guys do a 7 p.m. clap?
Yep, we did that today. It's pretty loud over there. How is it over here? How is it over there?
It's really nice. It's like sweet. I mean, it's not that loud because I can only see. I mean, we have a full block, 6-story buildings, but it's not.
You don't have
huge.
800 apartments in your, yeah.
Yeah, it's not huge, but it's like really sweet because we see the same people every day clapping.
Yeah. The kids come out and get really into it.
Yeah, yeah, and then we like wave. I don't know who they are, but we have like friends across. We have like across the street friends. We have no idea who they are.
That's beautiful. Maybe you'll get a meal after this. I think it's part of it is like, I mean, you're cheering for the doctors and everyone else who's keeping us safe, the nurses, and you know, there's lots of people in lots of industries who are working and risking their lives right now. And I feel like it's also like just affirming that we're all still alive, we're all still here, we can all see each other.
Totally.
It's like, oh, they're still there. That means they're still okay,
Right.
and that means when this is over, we'll all still be okay, and that's really nice.
Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, definitely. I play music sometimes.
Oh, nice.
I don't want to take away. I don't want to draw attention, but I feel like we need it. So.
Yeah. I think that's a nice touch. The people in my neighborhood who honk their horns are well-meaning, but it like drowns out the clapping, and it just sounds like traffic. So I feel like that's not helping, but I know their heart's in the right place. We also have the clapping will go for whatever, like 2-3 minutes. And then once it's really died down, someone who we haven't been able to see because they're kind of around the corner from us comes out with some kind of horn instrument and plays taps.
Cool. Oh, nice.
And it's beautiful. And people cheer, which is understandable. Although to me, that's like he's playing funeral music for all the people dying. So I feel weird cheering. But it's become this thing that we, you know, that sort of marks that moment in our day when he plays taps and that period is done, and kind of remember what's happening.
I always wait for 2 minutes. I wait for 2 minutes. I wait for the claps to go down, and then I rise the music. Nice.
You bring it back. So you're doing the same thing, basically. Maybe tomorrow you could play taps.
Maybe. I think as soon as it's a nice day, I'm going to play Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Oh, that's cruel. There's no ball game.
Followed by Dominic the Donkey. For the Mets.
DJ for the block.
Sometimes, yeah. But I don't hope people aren't upset about it.
Are we going to see a Mets game this year?
I don't know.
They might be in Arizona, the Phoenix Mets.
Oh. I mean, it's September. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Is everybody going to feel comfortable sitting next to each other?
Right, exactly. It's one thing for them to be on the field, but for people to actually show up to a stadium, it's hard. I mean, just 2 months ago, I was at a basketball game. It wasn't that crowded. It wasn't the NBA, but just even like imagining that again and like picturing myself there, I feel uncomfortable, which is really sad.
Yeah. All right. So let's. So I posed that question to you before.
Yeah.
You understand your top 10 buddy foods, right?
Yeah. So is the format that I just list my 10 and then you list your 10, or
let's go 10 and let's go,
or 1 and 1?
We'll start from the top or bottom. Start from the worst.
Okay.
And then go down and we could talk about them.
Okay.
Right?
Now,
and
that's cool.
You could do 10. I could do 10. You do 10.
Let's
9,
do one
8.
at a time because we might have a lot of the same ones, and I'll change it up if you say one of mine and vice versa. So I'll do my number 10 first, and I am totally winging this. I've thought about it, but I didn't have a full list, so we'll see how it goes. And just to like know how much latitude I've got. Does it have to be? You know, you mentioned wings as sort of the thing that gave you the idea. Does it have to be something like wings that's a specific item, or can it be more broad or conceptual or whatever?
Give me whatever you want it to be, man.
Okay, cool.
Buddy foods.
All right. So my number 10, I'm going to start with dumplings. And I'm just going to say all dumplings. I don't really think it matters which ones. And dumplings exist in probably just about every cuisine.
Oh, yeah?
But I just, so often you can get so many different kinds of dumplings and try them all. And if you're on your own, it's not as practical to eat lots of different types. And, you can eat a lot of them and they're just fun. They're kind of messy and you're not being messy by yourself. And there's also that video that you've probably seen at some point. It's like the animated video of the couple sharing dumplings and being really concerned that each of them gets like an equal portion. And that made me think of buddies eating together. So I'm gonna start with dumplings.
That's a good one. Yeah, I have trouble getting dumplings. I have trouble like only getting momos.
You mean for that to be the full meal?
Yeah, Yeah, I guess. Although I do get them on the way to work sometimes at 2 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, I guess yeah, dumplings is a nice shareable food. That's cool. All right, should I
You
go?
go.
Are we doing 1-on-1?
Yeah, let's do that.
This has never been done before, by the way.
We're breaking ground here.
Yeah. Okay, so my number 10 is nachos. Nachos.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, you never order it you rarely order it by yourself. If you do, it's kind of crazy. So I remember one time, nacho stands out for me because they sell them at 7-Eleven. It's like shitty version with the cheese. It's pretty good. And one time I remember getting them instead. I like skipped dinner with my parents, and then I got nachos from 7-Eleven. And then my dad looked at me like a complete idiot because I foregoed dinner with the family to have nachos. But I was like 16 or something.
That's totally reasonable. How do you like your nachos?
What's that?
How do you like your nachos?
Oh, I like a big variety. I just like pulling them apart, and there's different pieces that are soggy and sticky and crispy, and trying to deal with that. Trying to figure it out to make like not the perfect nacho, but exactly what I'm feeling at the time. So I like the variety of nachos a lot. What would I put on it? I don't know. I never made nachos. If I did,
I know. Peanut butter.
no, not peanut butter. Mickey said Mickey's here, by the way.
Hi, Mickey.
She's not peanut butter. I put peanut butter on everything lately, but not nachos. Sour cream, chives. I'm holding on for bacon right now. Cheddar cheese, maybe Nella cheese, melted. Pepper jack, maybe.
Ooh,
Jalapenos, pickled jalapenos.
yeah, it's a must.
Um,
So veggie.
do I need? I'm getting off of bacon lately. Like
Yeah,
bacon.
it's not always bacon, right? Sometimes it's like chorizo or
Oh, that's a good
beef
one.
or something.
Yeah, like a crumbled sausage would be
Yeah.
good. Chorizo, that would be cool. That would be cool. Mexican style, real Mexican style.
Yeah.
Um, I think. What else could I put on it? No peppers. No, I don't like fresh peppers.
Yeah, especially there. What about tomato? Sometimes you get like some fresh tomato on nachos, right?
Oh, I could have some
It
tomato.
would be a little watery potentially. I mean, you want to keep the crisp, so that's a big guacamole is another possibility.
Guacamole is good. I'm so leery of guacamole because
Hit or
so
miss,
because it's half the time it's just like from the can.
yeah.
Sometimes,
Especially if it's going
shitty.
to be one of many different ingredients, like on nachos.
Especially if it's at someone's house
Mm.
that don't really care about food, they'll just put the guacamole sauce on it, and it's pretty nasty. My number 9 is spaghetti. I'm not sure if this is even a good pick, really. This might be a terrible
Well,
pick.
number 9 is a good spot for where you're not
Exactly.
sure.
Yeah, that's why I put it at number 9 because this is kind of a throwaway. And so yes,
We're giving away too many of the secrets of this top 10 list game, but that's cool.
yeah, I feel like spaghetti. It's something you make for a big group of people. You could, and I wouldn't make it by myself. I don't think. I guess a lot of pastas. I don't know. I guess I make pasta by myself. I just wouldn't make spaghetti. That's all I'm saying. It's my list. That's my number 9.
Okay,
How
I
about
like
you?
that. Spaghetti is a funny one because it's so like it can be a real mess to eat. It's just like
Yeah, it's probably
long and like you're wrapping around your fork and sauce is flying everywhere, and that's kind of I think that's when you started this with wings. I'm thinking what's like messy and your fingers are
yeah,
sticky and like you're with your friend and it's fine. And I think spaghetti fits in well there.
yeah. Unless you're on a
Especially if you're eating
date,
it with your finger.
unless you're two
Well,
dogs on a
this
date.
is date food or a buddy food? Those are two different. I mean, you can go on a date with your buddy, but they're not always the same thing. So,
Yeah, I guess I care less. I never. I'm like totally against getting food on dates, on first dates, because like I can't enjoy the food. I can't talk. I can't enjoy the date. I can't talk because I'm like I'm too self conscious about it. I'm very against food dates, and now I see why a drink would be good, just a beer or something to loosen it up. That's my opinion.
all right, my next one is
Oh yeah, what? Sorry. Mickey just said our first date was at the Grand Central Oyster Bar.
but that's different.
But
Which
it
is,
was,
I mean,
but
oysters are a good choice, by the way.
it is good, but it wasn't planned like that. It was like a meandering date, and at this time, I had put in the policy not to have food with someone that I don't. I only eat with people that I love, and so. And this,
Well, it turns out you loved her.
yeah.
That's
So
the policy.
we went on like a tour. We went around Grand Central, and I had a really good time. And I was like, okay. And then it kind of like, oh, I don't know, everything changed, so it worked out.
Well, so I hope oysters are your number one, especially with her in the room. You should probably save it for that. So
But
I'll leave that one to you.
they're not
and
on the
you
list,
decide.
but whatever. Yeah.
You can change your list, man. Nobody needs to know. For my you did 9 and 8, so I'm gonna do 8 and 7. Or sorry, you did 10 and 9, so I'm gonna do 9 and 8,
Yeah,
and we'll
do
go
whatever.
like that. We'll do a snake draft.
Okay.
So for my number 9, I'm gonna do paella. And I have this very specific memory of my friend wanting to make. We both liked paella, but never made it, and we wanted to make it. And there's many different types of paella, and I think authentic, like original style in Spain, paella often features just one ingredient, but the kind you'll get in the typical Spanish restaurant in the U.S. has, every kind of seafood plus meat and chicken
Yeah.
and tons of vegetables, and that's what we did. So it was like a whole day cooking expedition. A lot of it complicated cooking things we'd never cooked before, and I could not imagine having done that by myself, and it was ridiculous and a ton of fun. And then you have a giant pot of paella, and it's a lot of fun to share. So I'm going to put paella at number 9. And then for number 8, we haven't done sweets yet. The sweet that came to mind for this part of the list was ice cream. And I'm thinking of this in several ways. So pint of ice cream, way too much to eat on your own, totally inappropriate. But with 2 people, it's sort of acceptable to eat a pint of ice cream. And each time you think you're done, if the other person puts their spoon back in, it feels a little more okay to keep eating the ice cream. So I think it's really good to have a buddy there with you. And if you're going out to a place and it's, a little more upscale and expensive, between the 2 of you, you can ask for so many tastes and share the taste that you've tried all the ice cream. And then either you both get cups or cones and have more to try, or you can even share one, because often the portions are really big, and it's kind of fun and drippy. And I mean, that's starting to sound more like a date, but I think buddies can also completely enjoy ice cream together. So ice cream is going to be my number 8.
Yeah, I think it's pretty romantic.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think some friendships can be very intimate without being,
Yeah. Ice cream is definitely like could be a social thing. You're on the go on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wouldn't to go there by yourself is pretty gluttonous. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. I've done it, and I don't really care much what people think of me, but I still care a little what people think of me when I'm getting ice cream by myself. It's a strange thing to do by yourself.
I think I feel too much pressure. I don't know. I like eating by myself at home because I control the portions of ice cream. Because like they give you so much ice cream, and
But that's why if you have a buddy to share, you don't even have to have half. You can just have a little.
Yeah, I'm very pro sharing. But ice cream is romantic. Ice cream is a romance. One of the romance foods.
Well, look, Sometimes you go out with a buddy and you come home with a wife.
That's true. That's true.
Not often. You shouldn't do it more than once, but it could happen.
All right, so I'm up now. This is what
Yeah.
we're doing. Okay, so for my number 8. Oh shit! I fucked up my list.
Jeff, this is where you bluff. Just say something.
No. I have it all prepared already. I got it. I got it.
He want to beat you.
I have my Chirons. I have my Chiron set up already. Hondo's on, by the way.
Yeah, I told him I was on.
Oh, okay. My number 8 is a poo-poo platter.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. It's also so fun to say. Can you just say it a few more times?
a poo-poo platter.
Nice.
Yeah, I was looking at them. When you think of a poo-poo platter, what do you think about?
Oh, putting me on the spot. I mean, I
What
haven't
does it look
had
like?
one so long. You don't see it on menus as much. Isn't it just basically like the greatest hits of American Chinese appetizers, basically? So
Yeah.
it's like spring roll, egg roll, wonton. I'm sure I'm missing other types. Yeah, help me out. What am I missing?
Yeah, it's pretty rare now. You might have crab rangoon,
Oh my God, yeah.
and you could have skewers also.
Mhm.
Egg roll, crab rangoon, skewers, the ribs, and the
Mhm.
fried shrimp. And also you'd have like the torch on top, the fire.
Mhm.
Very important. You had the fire on top.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, that's a great one. And it would be a strange thing to get by yourself for sure.
yeah, apparently it's invented in California.
Makes sense.
After the whole, because America was obsessed with Polynesian stuff, and then it caught fire. But yeah, I haven't had a
Quite
poo-poo
literally.
platter. Last poo-poo platter I had was in this crappy like Polynesian place in Connecticut. It was like it was kind of like a time warp, and I was so excited to get a poo-poo platter, and it was so bad. It was just it was just a flat plate with like 4 things on it.
So the question whenever I have an experience like that is, was this a really bad poo-poo platter, or has your taste changed since you like them?
No, this was bad. This was bad.
This is just genuinely bad. Any
'Cause
time in your life you would have thought it was bad.
the sign was so big on the outside, and the restaurant had no windows. It was like a fortress, and I was so excited. And I went in, and it was they had some Polynesian stuff left over, and it was weird because they had like a fish tank motif around the back of it or something. It was very weird, but and I was so excited, and everybody else was excited too. But it was terrible. Poo platter. I knew that I would be drawn out to talk about that place. But
You
what
were
I
just
really,
setting yourself up to give an out loud review
was-
of their poo-poo
it
platter.
was so disappointing.
Did you write a review of that? I know you've written a lot of reviews.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
We'll look it up.
I think so. I can't find it right now. It was
All right,
in
what's your number
Connecticut
7?
somewhere, in like Berkshire somewhere. I forgot where it was. It was not.
All right, everybody, go look up his au revoir of reviews and see if you can find it. The winner gets a poo-poo platter.
Okay. Alice O'Brien Bermejo says hi. She works at the Chipper Truck. Do you know that place? Awesome place.
Chipper Truck.
It's an Irish truck in Woodlawn, the Bronx, all the way to the top of the Bronx. And
Yeah,
they
near where I
s-
went to high school.
you went to high school there? Oh, where did you go to
Bronx
high school? Oh yeah. I didn't know it was that far up. Anyway, so I think they open at 2 a.m. and they're for all like the people that are dragging themselves out of the bar at that time. Or maybe they open at midnight. They're open ridiculous hour. I think midnight till 6 a.m. or something like that. For all the
You
bar
love
people.
the late night trucks. That's your
This
your true
place
passion.
it was like when I found out about it, I was like so enamored by it because it's an Irish truck. It's only open at midnight, and it was all the way up in the Bronx. So like these things were like so evasive to me, and they were super nice. And so they make like all sorts of French fry conglomerates or whatever. So they're pretty good. They're very
French
good.
fry conglomerates. I think I know what you mean, and I like it, and I want it
Yeah, they're
soon.
great. Okay, so move a player. Moving on. Okay, I'm doing two.
Yeah.
And then chicken wings, which we talked about before.
Oh, it's not your number one. All right.
It's not my number one. I don't. So I watched this movie today about the world's best chicken wing. It's like a group of people that are on a 2-week adventure to find the best chicken wings. And they mentioned, some food expert mentioned that chicken wings are a buddy food. Makes sense. You got to eat it in a bar, usually, with drinking. So,
Is there a particular type that you particularly like, or you would particularly want to have with your buddy? Like, are we just talking buffalo wings? Because there are other options.
No, there are other options. My favorite, I love garlic parmesan wings. I love them. And then just varying degrees of hot. I just discovered Buffalo Wild Wings. You ever go there?
I think I've been there once to watch something, but I got wings.
We had a great time. They were like
Nice.
really good. Surprisingly.
That's a place that I mean, they've got some challenges ahead of them, but there are a lot of people who'd be happy to be back there. I'm sure, watching live sports and eating wings with their friends.
Yeah. They do a good. They don't get great reviews on Yelp actually. Like they have bad reviews on Yelp.
Well, there's a range, right? There's different locations. I've always been surprised at how much variation there is in reviews and ratings of the same business, multiple locations. Like I always just figured people feel the same way about them everywhere, but it's not the case.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of people don't even think of writing. It's less sort of on your mind to write a review when you think, oh, this is just part of like a bigger business, than if it's a small business and it's the only location, and maybe you feel like you have a bigger impact if you write a review.
Yeah, I guess now I rarely write bad reviews of small businesses unless they're really terrible people. But for the chain restaurants, I write a review quite often, just because I guess it seems less it's not going to affect the world so much, I think. Not that like my one Yelp review is going to make a big difference, but like
well, I think a lot of those businesses are really smart and read them and react to them and in a positive way. They're like, oh, okay, so that location needs more help with their, I don't know, with their supply chain or whatever, and then they help the location and it gets better. I mean, I think if you're that big a business, you can actually there's more efficiencies of scale where you can have someone whose job it is to monitor that stuff and be like, oh, there's something we can make better. So I think you might have just as much of an impact with that review as with other reviews.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they do such a good job, these big chains. They do a very good job, and the menu is like perfect. The menu is so nice and beautiful, and all the options are like perfect. And the prices are great. The prices are actually fine.
Yeah, I think it's always helpful for me to remember that, generally speaking, in the restaurant business, it's not like suddenly there's a chain everywhere and it's just got there that way without, just randomly. It's like usually one place that's so good and so successful and so good on the business side that becomes 2 places, becomes 5 places, and so on. So the ones that we now know are the ones that kind of got there because they were doing something really well that people really wanted, and there was great demand for them to expand. And once it becomes a fixture, it's hard to like connect it that way, but that's the history of so many of these places. And we're seeing places in New York now that are kind of probably at an earlier stage in that evolution and might never get there, but we are old enough to remember when they were just one location, and now people are like, oh, that's that chain that's everywhere.
Yeah. I see bad reviews of Shake Shack, and I'm like, I can't believe it. I can't believe that people are complaining about Shake Shack when it's like so good in Manhattan.
Super fans of anything start to then, benchmark against what they expect for that thing. And I think that's a factor. It's like, if you have 10 locations of any business, one's going to be the best from at least one person's point of view, and one's going to be the worst from that person's point of view. And it still might be great relative to other choices, but they're going to think, well, it's not as good as it could be because I've been to the one that I think is the best. So that can be, people, there's no there's no system. It would be impossible to design a system where you're asking people to put a numerical score on something where you could guarantee that my 5 is the same as your 5. You know what I mean? Like we're just going to have different, and it's going to be different for me for one kind of business than it is for another. And I think what's great about our data is we're able to have so many different people bring their own thoughts and systems and preferences.
Yeah.
And when you put it all together, you get really good recommendations. But any one person's opinion is just, that person's opinion.
Right.
It's more the collective wisdom coming together and creating something that you wouldn't have otherwise.
I really do not like, what's that place called? Bear Burger.
It started in Astoria. I've only been once. I thought it was good.
They're local, but they just are so perfect. Everything they do, they're just like,
you're looking for like the freckle on their perfect
They are
face.
their menu is like so spot on, and they like satisfy every person's desire. They will satisfy it, and like
Jeff, that genuinely sounds really hard. I don't know. Yeah,
I know, and I go in there, and the people are so nice.
You are so annoying.
Mickey's calling me annoying because I hate it.
Because you think it's too perfect.
They're so, and the decorations are like just like so
and it's
well
family
done.
friendly, and it's like gluten-free friendly, and it's like everyone is welcome there, and everyone has
it's like Friendlies. It's like the modern Friendlies. They do so well. And
I mean, that was another place that probably not that long ago was one location, and people loved it, and they were successful, and they replicated, and that's great. Things are going well when that can happen, and I hope we get to a place soon where that's what's happening again with local businesses. All right, so you just did 8 and 7, is that right?
Yeah.
All right, so my 7, I think since you did wings now, I'll do this one.
Okay.
Because I think it's a good pairing, is incredibly hot peppers. And I say that even though I'm not really a fan of them myself, because I think there's such a culture now of like people eating incredibly spicy things in some sort of public way, whether it's public because they're with a friend and they can both do it and like commiserate, or they do it on camera, they do like it on Facebook. And I think there's just something so communal about that. Like it's hard for me to imagine someone doing that on their own unless they're practicing. Otherwise it's like a tree falling in a forest. Like you're doing it because you want people to know you did it and see a reaction. And I don't even know if that even counts as food in a way. Like it's not really saying people eat for nutrition or energy, but or really flavor, because it drowns out your taste buds. But it's edible and people do it together. So I'm going to say really spicy peppers.
Well, there it's like food is as entertainment.
Yeah.
That's that brand. Yeah.
Extreme food, extreme eating.
And you wouldn't entertain yourself.
Well, maybe some people would, but I don't know about it.
Yeah. Probably not. I'm trying to think if I have like a really hot ramen noodles. It's still a meal though. I wouldn't just try something that's stupid.
Double spicy Korean.
Yeah, but it's still good. We had like this double spicy Korean ramen. And it's extremely spicy, but it's delicious. The thing is, it's like tastes really good. So I would definitely have that on my own.
Would that taste better or worse if it was slightly less spicy? Like, does it need to be as spicy as it is to be as good as it is?
It doesn't need to be, but it's okay. It's okay. If I had I'm trying to think if they were next to each other in the same price.
Right.
I'd probably get both. I like variety.
As long as I'm not stealing one from your list. As soon as you said ramen, I'm like, oh, ramen is a great one. So can I take that for my number 6?
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. Because of what you just said. Because so many ramen menus, I want to try 2 of them at least. And if I'm with a buddy, we can try each other's ramen and commit, stick to the one we have. And it's like messy and slurpy and kind of awkward. But if you're with a buddy, that's fine.
Yeah.
And often those where you're eating a ramen, I mean, it depends where you go. You can get ramen lots of places, but I think of it as like being both like a convivial, good atmosphere, but also being peaceful. So you can have like a good conversation, but it's not stuffy. And I that's where I'd like to catch up with a buddy while eating a bowl of ramen.
Yeah, it's like it's very friendly atmosphere. Definitely. But you could also eat there alone very easily.
Absolutely.
Just
So
the bar.
maybe it suffers for that for sure. But
Okay.
I find it very hard to choose on most ramen menus because there are a lot of different combinations of broths and noodles, and having a buddy there so I can, oh, I was curious about that broth. Can I try some? It's nice.
Steve Moran, a former Yelper, says dim sum, hot pot, Korean barbecue, and churrascaria.
He named two of the one. I mean, you're spoiling here, Moran. You're too good.
He named one of mine, actually.
Oh, which one?
Hot pot.
That's
Yeah, hot
mine.
pot is
And
awesome.
Mickey's too. Mickey came up with
Yeah.
that one.
Hot pot is a great one. And the two that I had are
Oh, I can add it to your list right now. What is it?
the two that I had are churrascaria and Korean barbecue. I mean, I think same spirit as hot pot, although hot pot especially, that was one of the last meals out I had before we weren't having meals out anymore. And it's just so much fun. It's like you take this food, you drown it, you all take turns picking it out. It's just so interactive and collaborative, and you all get to have your own sauces. So you get to all share the food, but all have your own different like condiments and stuff. So I think that's great.
All right,
so you're
on
up for number 6, right?
to my 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm up to 6 already. Okay. I'm not sure how this one's conflicting to me, but it's a pizza pie. Pizza pie.
That was on my list too. I'm with you.
In the United States sense of the word. Because you could confuse it with the Neapolitan. Well, actually, I'm trying to think if I would go get a Neapolitan pie, a single pie by myself. If it was takeout, I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, you could take the rest home, yeah.
Yeah.
But a single American 16-inch, 18-inch pie with a buddy where you eat most of it and like you eat too much, but it's great. That's pretty perfect.
That sounds great. I would love to get I rarely get a fresh pie. I would love to. I've been dreaming about it.
Yeah.
But some people say
Hondo, speaking of buddies, Hondo sent me a pizza delivery the other day.
Oh.
We were having a tough day. He sent me a pizza. Sent me a few pizzas from Massa's in Long Island City. It was great.
Oh, yeah.
Massa's. And so I felt like I was eating with Hondo. I even videoed with him while I was eating. And then I had a buddy at home to eat with. And I can confirm it was good. It was good buddy food. Thank you, Hondo.
Massa's. Let me see. Oh,
it's near the bridge. It's near the Queensboro Plaza station.
That looks really good.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh, they were the I think the kid is the son of someone famous.
Could be.
It says since 1933. So I think he's the son of Grimaldi? Is that right?
Oh, no way. Wow.
Is that right? 1933. I forgot. Hold on, I'm looking at him right now. Margaret, I don't know. They don't say. Somewhere. Maybe it's a big secret. Oh yeah, our great uncle Patsy Lancietti opened the famous Patsy's Pizza in Harlem. And then also they have they're related to a lot of other pizza people. So you got the lineage. That sounds great.
Yeah, recommend. Let's go there sometime.
Yeah. Okay. Deal. Okay. So number 5 is a throwback. Wait, before I get to number 5, a pizza pie tastes different than a pizza slice heated up. The reheat does something to it. Very important.
Yes.
Well, let's move on. That's another discussion.
But they're both better than cold pizza, which is better than no pizza.
Definitely. It's all good. Number 5 is a throwback. Something you probably haven't thought about in a long time. Fondue.
I just did think about it, actually. You know why?
What's wrong with you? Why?
Well, I was just thinking, I think about data and about local businesses and restaurants. And I was just thinking Valentine's Day was less than 2 months ago. And back on Valentine's Day, we were, for me, from a data perspective, I was thinking about what do people normally do on Valentine's Day, which businesses are more popular. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I found pretty early in this job was that fondue has its day on Valentine's Day. Like that is the day for fondue. If you're a fondue restaurant, that is when you are sold out like a month in advance, and get bookings, overflow bookings on the adjacent days, because people associate fondue with Valentine's Day. Now, I think throughout we've accepted that you can be in a romantic relationship with someone and also think of them as a buddy. So I think it works. And I think you can also have fondue with someone you're not in a romantic relationship with. But I think that confirms your point about fondue for two.
I think I would more likely to do fondue with a buddy than ice cream.
Well,
maybe
ice cream was like my number 8. Fondue's your number 5. So there you go.
I know one fondue place. I think they used to do it at Hard Rock Cafe in the 80s. That was where I was introduced to it. But I think there's like a Swiss place. It's Swiss, right? Yeah, Switzerland.
Yeah, I think so.
In in Hell's Kitchen. I think it's the only restaurant that is from Switzerland in New York City right now. I'm not Yelp, but from I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I guess I could look that up, but
I think they're the only ones.
I wonder how they're doing. I mean, fondue seems like a more complicated thing to deliver or do takeout on than a lot of other foods.
Yeah.
I had a friend who had. It wasn't fondue; it was raclette. Do you know what that is?
Yeah. They heat it up and kind of shave it off into a sandwich. Is that what they do?
Well, in this case, though, raclette can be in a sandwich, I think, but in this case, it was like fondue. It was like a vessel to melt the raclette and then dip stuff in it. It would just had a different cheese and a different name. And he would have parties around raclette or bring it to other people's places, and it was fun. It was very friendly. It was very buddy-like.
I see. Yeah, it's like the same thing. I'm looking at pictures. Yeah, maybe I don't know what the difference is between raclette and. Maybe fondue is like a fountain, and raclette is.
Maybe it's more about how the molten whatever is being distributed and stored than it is what it is. Okay, I think I'm up to my number 5, and this is. I'm just gonna say like.
You're up to your
Chinese,
number 4.
What's that?
5 was hot pot.
You just did 6 and 5, right?
It doesn't matter. You're up to.
What am I up to?
You're up to 4.
I'm up to 4. What did I say for 5?
Hot pot.
Oh, he said hot pot, but okay, fine. I'll take hot pot for 5. Hot pot's a great choice.
Okay.
4, I'm gonna say any Chinese food you're eating on a Lazy Susan, because Lazy Susans are really fun and set up for sharing, and the food you would rotate on a Lazy Susan is great to have with your buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And with certain types of phones and modes, you can take a really fun like photo by putting the camera on the Lazy Susan next to the food and rotating it.
When's the last? Oh, I guess yeah.
There was a place I loved on 39th Street in Manhattan, Szechuan Gourmet.
Yeah.
That was the place in Manhattan in Midtown, like one of the busiest spots in Midtown, where you could reliably get a reservation for any size table, stay for hours, hear each other talk, and eat great food. And if you had a big enough table, they had a Lazy Susan. Mm-hmm. So that's not really necessarily with your buddy, although there were times you could have gotten that table with just 2 people because it wasn't always crowded.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think they're closed or they were closed, but I used to love going to that place.
Mickey Lynn says seafood.
Just seafood generally?
Well, because... Well, she's talking about like a whole fish.
Yeah, I was thinking whole fish. I was going to say Astoria Seafood is a place I want to go with a buddy and get a whole fish. So that's a good one too.
And Hondo says nachos.
So he tuned in after Jeff said nachos. That was your number 10
that was
or
up there.
9?
I don't know. We'll have to check on the list. Yeah, nachos up there, and he says Ethiopian food.
Oh, that's so good. I wasn't even thinking of that. That's right on. That was another food that I had not long ago in a different lifetime,
Yeah. I've been trying to go to an Ethiopian place for a long time to show Mickey what's up. With
this is a very cruel topic right now. I mean, we're not even eating anything. We're 2 buddies. We're not even eating anything together.
All right,
But
my
that's all
number
right. We got to carry on.
number 4. Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Number 4 is, or you touched on this before with the hot pepper, but dare foods
Oh yeah, just
like
generally, that's good.
like live octopus, Korean
Hmm.
live octopus is one, and like
Caterpillar or something.
extra hot stuff, and also like shots.
Mm. Are we counting liquids? We're doing liquids too?
I'm not sure. That's why I grouped it into the dare
Yeah,
foods.
yeah.
So I didn't want to give it its own thing. But yeah, something where you got to be like crazy to do. Like you wouldn't get a flaming I don't even take shots. I did have a flaming something from Terraza.
The
I don't know what it's called. Hot, not a hot toddy, a hot shot.
water of life
What is it?
is alcohol.
Everclear?
Shot.
I don't know. It's all terrible.
Even better.
Have you done any? I mean, I don't know if your neighborhood anyone's doing this. In a lot of neighborhoods, there are businesses that are like doing cocktails to go.
Yeah, they
Is
do.
that happening around you? Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you tried that?
Queensboro does it. No, I haven't gotten any of the booze to go yet. I do like it. I really hope that post coronavirus, they'll open up a lot of laws,
Mm.
like drinking on the street, and also like make it easier to get permits to eat outside, and even beer to go, alcohol to go. I hope they'll open it up a lot, or smoking and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's all sorts of things that we generally think are impossible and might also think are bad or would have bad effects.
Yeah.
And we never try them out. And there's never, this is the time to try things out for businesses to
Yeah.
stay in business and meet their customers' needs, and for people to have an outlet and all those things. So we're trying out a lot of things. And it seems like basically things we were worried about are okay.
Right.
A lot of them, at least.
Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah, it's a lot of it. Who gives a shit? Like, it doesn't matter. A lot of this stuff.
Well, I think the reason
now.
those laws exist is some people give a shit, but maybe
Right.
they'll care less if they
Yeah, maybe it's okay.
see that, oh, that thing I was worried about wasn't actually that
Yeah.
bad. People can handle it. People can be responsible, whatever.
I
I lived in London for 4 years.
Yeah.
Plenty of drinking on the street.
Yeah.
Can't say it was always good. Can't say I was always glad that it was legal, but
Right.
the city overall is fine and has a lower crime rate than New York, and it's drinking in a park on a nice summer day is a wonderful thing.
Yeah. We were in New Orleans, and it's so liberating to be able to drink on the street. It was great. Although I was thinking about this because there is no problem with plastic bags now. Everyone was going crazy with the plastic bag ban before.
Right, and that was reversed, right? I mean,
I believe it. I think it's good,
yeah.
but now it just seems like
Now it doesn't make sense.
who
Right.
cares, man?
Bring it in, and well, not only who cares, but like anything that is like a vessel that something travels in the outside world right now seems like it might be a vessel for the virus, so you want to get rid of it right away.
Yeah.
And hopefully in June or whenever, May, hopefully even, we won't think that way anymore. Who knows when that will be, but until then, I think it's hard to imagine just like reusing containers a lot.
Mickey Lynn says cotton candy.
Oh, that's so good.
And fortune cookies.
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. Although, do you eat them in the end? I guess there's some good ones. Good fortune cookies are good. They're just hard to find.
I made a good one.
Yeah?
Oh, now we're making them, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Do you make the fortunes too?
Yeah, we make like a dare, maybe dares, or like a responsibility or a.
That's fun, but not actual fortunes, which is in keeping with the fortune cookie tradition. They rarely have actual fortunes.
Oh, yeah. Like I remember you have to buy a $5 lottery ticket, or
eat a dare food.
What's that?
Eat a dare food.
Well, I don't know if we had any dare. We had like someone has to pick dinner, or you don't have to take care of the baby for 4 hours. That's a good
You
one.
get to take care of the baby. It's
That's
a
like the
privilege.
best one. Yeah. Hondo says, "Does dim sum count?"
Oh, 2 people say dim sum, so clearly
Yeah.
dim sum should count. Dim sum is a really good one.
Yeah, it goes in with the lazy Susan and the dumplings
Yeah.
pretty well.
No, dim sum is great. I mean, it's so much fun, and like with the big Hondo has organized some great dim sum outings, and it's like, oh, maybe someone else but me will like that, and it's just fine, you know. I mean, it just works. So, are you up? Are you number 3? Did you say number 3 already, or are you up for number 3?
I could say it.
Okay.
So I'm up to 4. Okay, so my number 3 is hot pot, as
Okay.
we heard. So now, okay, so whatever. And so now
You
we're
don't want
getting
to talk
into the
about
big
more?
ones.
We've covered it.
Yeah, we covered it.
All right.
So my number 2 is one of my favorite foods of all time. 6 Foot Heroes. I love 6 Foot Heroes.
Yeah.
Because they're so rare. You cannot get them anywhere. You can only get them at some big party, and that's it. And you can't get them at a restaurant. Nobody sells them. If I were to sell food at the Queen's Night Market, it would probably be 6 Foot Heroes, because I feel like this is my culture's food, my Long Island food. But
Nice.
I don't think they would accept me for that, because they're so strict.
Oh man, that sounds so good. So how many feet of hero can you eat in a sitting?
Now, I'm my 38-year-old self, even I would pay the price for even one
But one that much?
2-inch wide one. I would.
What?
Yeah, I'd have to have at least one beer per slice to offset it, because my stomach.
Sounds like a good formula.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's fine. I mean, when I was a kid, I could have 3, no problem. So, yeah, a lot. And but now I just can't do it anymore. I would always have 2, because you got to have the American one, which is not that good, and then the Italian one, which is awesome, usually.
Italian heroes, yeah.
So, but now my stomach doesn't work that well. But I still miss.
But we still have the memories.
I would love a 6 Foot Hero. Yeah, I'm getting like all these comfort foods. I'm really, I really want. I just bought a Hungry Man dinner, a fried chicken Hungry Man dinner that I used to have when I was like 12 years old all the time. Just out of nostalgia. It's probably terrible, and it's so bad for you. It's like 1,000% of sodium in that thing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's go to your number 2. Let's go up to your number 2. So you got 3 and 2 left, and then we'll hit our number 1s.
Okay. So number 3, I'm gonna do. I was going to say tapas, then I was going to say small plates. Now I think dim sum is in there too. It's just anything where it's like each plate is not nearly a single portion, which means that you can get a whole lot of them, try a lot of different things, and not really worry that much about whether the other person even likes the other thing, because you can just eat it yourself and still have plenty of room. Yeah. I just think that genre is perfect for a buddy meal in general. Small plates.
Yeah, and if you go by yourself,
yeah,
you can only get 2.
Yeah, exactly.
That sucks, yeah.
So I'm just going to say small plates generally, but it first occurred to me as tapas, but I think it, in any cuisine, sort of in any price range, that's a good one. And then, which is kind of, poo-poo platter is like a large plate made up of small plates. So it's sort of a version of that. And I guess dumplings, you could say, is like a specific version of that too. And then number 2 is going to be, again, I'm going to sort of broaden from the original idea. At first I was going to say like, American barbecue, which itself is many genres.
Oh, yeah.
And now I'm going to say just barbecue. So we're going to get Korean barbecue in there. Churrascaria is it's not really barbecue, but it's like a similar kind of, lots of different meats that are grilled. So just going to say barbecue generally, and
yeah,
I think it kind of speaks for itself, but I can expand on it if you want.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
I'll give you one specific story though, is that there was this place, it's still there, I think, Picnic Garden in Queens, Northern Boulevard.
Yeah.
Korean barbecue place. I actually went there not long ago. So yeah, it is still there. It moved, but same business. And they take I think it's one of those places where they like give you a bag to put your outerwear in, because otherwise it absorbs all the smoke.
Cool.
So it's just like such a powerful smell attached to the experience, and such like a meaty, intense experience, and it's so much more fun with somebody else. I would never imagine I've done a lot of things by myself because I really wanted it, but I don't think I would do that one by myself.
Yeah, barbecue is a lot of process with barbecue. Like I remember, like in Texas, like you wait online for an hour, and it's cool. Like it's totally fine, and you might drink on the line. It's part of the experience, just waiting, being an idiot and waiting for 2 hours for barbecue. And it's a little sad if you go by yourself. I did go by myself to an awesome one. But it's a little sad, and yeah, and you get a big platter, and you want to share it with everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, I mean, especially with, I'm thinking of like ribs or the kinds of meats that you pick up. It can be, and then churrascaria has the added element of like the sword that comes out to your table and the chips you flip over. It just feels like a game almost, which is great.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of performance in barbecue too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hondo says cast iron pot 3 is the boss for all you can eat Korean barbecue. I don't know this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard Picnic Garden is not the spot. I think I don't have a refined enough taste, and also I like it so much that I don't need to go to the spot. But I will go with Hondo anywhere that he tells me to go, so I'm in.
Let's look at it now.
I know you're number 1.
Okay. Mickey says she knows my number 1? Because I told you before.
I still can't believe you're not choosing oysters, dude. I mean, that's just such a romantic answer.
I forgot about that one.
All right, what you got? What's your number 1?
Yeah.
I'm also just impressed that you're like committed to sticking to your list. You know, like some people would have a list, but like.
Well, you can't see it right now, but I wrote them all down.
I know, but people write things down and then change their mind.
They're on the screen.
So you got to stick with. Oh, it's on Facebook. You're saying
on Facebook, yeah.
You've already revealed it.
I did a lot of pre-production, but I'm happy. But I'm very happy with my number 1.
Okay.
And I don't think you would have thought of this.
Okay. Well, I probably didn't because I haven't said it yet.
This might be one of the best. No, you didn't. This might be one of the best number 1s of all number 1 history. Okay. So it's
the number 1 of number 1s.
It's birthday cake.
Oh, that is so good. It's funny because that's I was saying like I'm looking at our data all the time and looking at trends and so on, and birthday cake delivery and cake delivery in general is up right now because you want someone to have a happy birthday, but you can't bring them a cake, or like they can't go get a cake. So that was the thing that people immediately thought was like, oh, I've got to get them a birthday cake. That's like essential.
The flower is.
Now, what is your ideal? It can be so many things.
My ideal birthday cake?
Yeah. Are you talking the classic?
No, I don't care. I mean,
as long as it's a birthday cake.
For this conversation, just birthday cake in general.
Because you're with your friends celebrating your birthday.
Well, I was just trying to think of the most saddest thing to have by yourself.
So it's more the contrast. It's like the level of aloneness enjoyment to togetherness enjoyment. The gap is what you're measuring for number 1.
Especially if there's a candle on it. If there's a candle on it, that's ultra depressing. I mean, it's fine if you did that. But
I mean, I'm 40. I've only done it for like 36 of my birthdays. I had a few with, 2 candles.
I don't even like cake that much. If I were to have one.
Wait. Wouldn't wedding cake be even sadder alone? I feel like wedding cake would be better if that's our metric.
Yeah, it'd be like the when you're supposed to hold the slice in the freezer and then have it on your year anniversary.
If you ate that alone, that would be
a bad one. Yeah, that'd be a bad one. If I were to pick out one, it would be like a really fudgy chocolate one.
Oh, it sounds good.
I like a fudgy chocolate.
The tradition in my family is Carvel for birthdays.
Oh, mine too. We always get Carvel. It's just the easiest thing. My parents do not cook or bake.
But it's also ice cream. I think ice cream beats most cakes.
Everybody likes it.
But, speaking of barbecue, my number 2, the traditional place for my families, especially my big family celebrations now, is John Brown in Long Island City, because it's like a big place to gather and have barbecue. But they have like one dessert on the menu and they almost always run out of it very quickly, the bread pudding. So for the last 2 years, my mom, gotta love her for this, goes to Carvel in your neighborhood gets an
Oh,
ice cream cake, gets on the subway, gets on the E train,
yeah.
and then takes the ice cream cake to John Brown. They don't have a freezer. They stick it
Oh,
in the fridge, and we try to eat our barbecue fast so we can get to the ice cream before it all melts.
oh,
And that's my birthday cake, and it's a pretty good one to have with
yeah.
other people, not so good alone. All right, that's a good one.
Okay. So
My number
what?
one I already revealed, but I got to stick
Oh,
with it. It's all you can eat sushi, and
oh,
especially when there's sashimi. And what I'm thinking here is that so much all you can eat is you go up to a table and take as much or as little as you want of stuff. But specifically for the place I mentioned earlier near you, Akino, and many other places, you order from a menu and you get a fixed amount, and it could be quite a lot. And if you have a friend who's like going to back you up, if you want that one more special roll or 8 more pieces of salmon sashimi, you can do it. And it's not that filling, so you can really have a lot of it. Try a lot of things. Try the rolls you don't normally try, the fish you don't usually try. And I've gone there now probably 10, 15 times, and usually it's just with one friend, different friend, or in Hondo's case, the same friend a bunch of times. And I think that's my number one.
good
And
one.
you're unpersuaded, which is fine. We have different lists. But I would eat any of your 10 with you anytime.
I'll take any of your 10. It's cool. No problem. It doesn't even matter. Um, for me, it doesn't matter where. I just like hanging out and eating,
Jeff, that is the proper
right?
sentimental ending, except that you just dragged your audience through the list. You can't tell them at the end the whole thing didn't matter.
Everything's a buddy food. What's not a buddy food? What do you
Yeah, that's a good one.
prefer? Yeah, what do you
What is
prefer?
the anti-buddy food?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what would you prefer to eat by yourself?
Nothing. Yeah, I think you're right. I think everything's a buddy food. But
No.
relatively speaking,
What do you eat at
I mean,
home?
there are foods that like I really enjoy the smell and taste of, but that many people do not enjoy. And I'd rather just do it by myself and not have to be worried about that.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of like certain kinds of seafood or something that's very garlicky or
Jewelry.
I think that's like a category. What did Mickey say?
durian
Durian.
or durian.
Oh yeah, that's a great example.
Yeah, but it's
If it's the right
awesome.
buddy and they're into it.
Yeah, it's awesome if you can find someone that enjoys it
Yes.
also. For me, it's like chicken liver. Like it's like gross to people, but I love
Right,
it.
right, right. Yeah,
Or like a
yeah.
lot,
Like
yeah, Jewish food.
I like gefilte fish, right? And
Yeah.
like, of course, I associate that with eating with other people because it's something you eat at a seder, which we just had. Um,
Well, then you're
but
forced to
like
eat
the
it.
fact that some people are grossed out by it, I would just rather not experience their reaction and eat it myself. I feel like in general, buddies will not be grossed out by each other's food because that's what a
But
buddy does.
what's good not to? What's better to not eat with a friend, even a good friend? What's better to eat by yourself, alone?
I mean,
Expensive.
I think what's better to eat by
Expensive?
yourself is a small portion of something you love. If you only have a little bit of like,
Yes.
if you have one slice of pizza, I don't really want my buddy there. But if I have enough for two, I can't really think of anything that. I mean, I guess if there's a food that's likely to upset my stomach, that's a good reason to be alone. If there's like something that's a little risky, like spicy food no longer agrees with me. Speaking of getting older and
Oh,
stomach's changing, so like that's a little safer if I'm not, at least if I'm not out.
yeah, maybe a whole milk something
Right,
extra creamy. That's something. I was thinking before, like maybe like cereal. I like to eat by myself, or maybe you know what? Maybe a coffee. Actually, I like to chill. I like to drink my coffee for like an hour and just chill out.
And you feel like if you were with someone else, there'd be more pressure to get it going.
I can't concentrate on the coffee.
Uh,
I forget about it. Yeah, I mean, it's really good for discussion. Um, but I like to chill out and drink coffee and just like watch and just chill out and watch stuff if I go out. If I'm out in the town, I like
yeah,
that. And I can't. And the problem is, if you're with a friend, you're talking too much and you can't enjoy the coffee.
Hmm. I feel like
Maybe.
talking to a friend does not detract. I mean, I'll say like, "Oh, this coffee's really good," and we'll talk about it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's a hard question. It's a hard.
Yeah, I think basically we're agreeing that just about everything is better with someone you enjoy enjoying things with.
There has to be one though.
Yeah,
There has to be.
we'll keep looking. Um,
Anyways, well, thank you for the honor
no,
of
thank
talking
you. This was
today.
great. It's a hard time out there, and it's great that you're doing this. I know you've been connecting with some business owners, which is great, and you've been like a great connector of Queens people and businesses, and Queens businesses are made up of people,
Yeah.
which is good to remember. So, I think it's good that I think there are a lot of people who are home right now and they're like, what should I do? And they're realizing, oh, I can talk to people and like make something and connect with. I mean, it's awesome that you got these comments from all
Oh,
the people watching that are
yeah.
suggesting awesome foods.
It's
This is really
mostly just
nice.
Hondo and Steve and Mickey.
That's
But
pretty good
maybe.
list. No, and the Clipper truck said hi.
Oh yeah, Chipper Truck. Yeah, yeah,
Chipper trucks, excuse
yeah.
me.
That's really special.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But whatever. For me, I'm just like, for me, it's cool to discuss things. We could talk about it anyways. We would.
Yeah,
But I'm playing with this new program, Ecamm, and I
yeah.
could like it's like a switcher and
So you're like a DJ of multiple feeds or something.
yeah, it's and like the director of
Director is a better word than DJ there. Sorry.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so that's been interesting. Although it's I'm trying to get used to it because it's a little harder to think like complex thoughts when I'm like doing all the things too.
You even when I thought for a second you were distracted, you're right there with me. So you pull it off.
I'm learning, and I'm trying to be more natural. Um, but for me, so that's a lot of it where I get out of it. But it's also just I don't know, it's just cool to create something, I guess. Whatever. We're not doing, and also like it's great because I know none of my friends are doing anything, so it's
Yeah,
great.
we had a family Seder today, which I know is a few days late, but it was easier to do on a Saturday. And
Yeah.
um, I had the idea we were just going to do kind of immediate family, and then I had the idea this morning. Oh, everyone's home, and there's a bunch of relatives we used to do seders with, and we've never done them recently because they don't live in New York, and maybe they'll be free when we're wrapping up, and they can surprise everyone and jump in. And I
Oh,
emailed them, let's say 2 o'clock or something, about being available 4 hours later. And within 10 minutes, they had all emailed back and said they were in, and they all
yeah.
joined. And 20 people, we saw 20 people from around the country who we never see.
That's cool. Yeah.
So, I'm not going to say any of this is good,
Right.
but there are good things happening, which is nice.
Yeah. To me, it feels a lot like when I was a kid, like 13 years old, and like nothing, no one's doing anything.
Right. You just know that you could come over, they could go to you, or you could talk on the phone, or yeah.
Yeah. And
I think in
yeah,
college, there's the element of everyone is like, if you're on campus, not everyone has the on-campus experience, but if you live on campus, like
yeah,
everyone lives there and like they're in their room
yeah,
and they're hanging out and you can just go over there and you can hang out with them. And that's not a thing that exists for adulthood.
yeah, yeah. It's a very special time, I guess. All right. Nice to talk.
Do I stay on while you wrap up or do we say goodbye first? How does this work?
It doesn't matter. I will end the broadcast now, and then we
Okay.
could say goodbye privately.
Okay.
Even though Mickey's gonna be listening in, so we can't talk about anything. Good. But anyways, okay, that's it for the broadcast. Thanks a lot.
Bye.